Sources of early Jamaican history document the earthquake of 1692 as being a great day of calamity that caused great devastation. Even though the effects of the earthquake were felt over the whole island, the town of Port Royal was worse affected. June 7, 1692, began as an ordinary day. In a letter written to Sir Hans Sloane on June 20th, 1692, it was noted that the skies were clear and the weather was excessively hot, calm, and dry. At about midday, what was described as a mysterious roar in the distant mountains was heard, followed by a shaking. The first tremor was gentle, followed by a more violent one. Historian George Bridges stated that this was instantly followed by a shock, accompanied by screams of anguish, cries of horror, rushing water, and the crash of edifices. With a third rumbling, the town of Port Royal, which was once considered the receptacle of much wealth and the scene of much wickedness, began shaking violently, and within minutes, a great portion of Port Royal had sunken into the earth. 1,500 to 2,000 of its inhabitants were killed, and an additional 3,000 were injured. In the aftermath of the earthquake, thousands more died from disease and injury. The wharf, which was filled with spoils, sunk immediately, causing a huge tidal wave that destroyed ships that were in the harbor, even throwing one ship to the middle of the island. It was also reported that the water had overtaken the streets that moments before had displayed the glittering treasures of Mexico and Peru. Persons in the town had moved to Morgan's Fort, hoping to find refuge in its wide open space, but they too were swallowed up by the opened earth. The famous burial place, Palisados, was also washed away by the sea, and the carcasses that were buried there could be seen floating all around the harbor. In other parts of the island, brick and stone buildings had either been leveled or greatly damaged. Many monuments had been shattered or so badly damaged that they were irreparable. The town of St. Jago de la Vega, which is also known as Spanish Town, also suffered severe damages, and following the earthquake, there was much looting, robbery, and violence. Even the dead were robbed of whatever valuables they had on them. Bridges also noted that one of the consequences of this great earthquake was the loss of official papers and public records of the island, thereby rendering our history incomplete. As a result of the earthquake and destruction, as well as the fear of a recurrence, the counts of the island decided to abandon the Port Royal site, and land was purchased from Sir William Beeston for the establishment of a new town further up the harbor on the site of what is now the city of Kingston.